All right, hello again. Another video I've been requested to make is one explaining the bow hold. And again, there's a lot of good ones out there on this. Here is my contribution. So I'm going to hold my bow with my left hand so that I can take my right hand, my bow hand, and drape it over the bow like this. Now, you'll see I'm not perfectly flat in respect to the bow. I'm rolled a little bit inward. There's a fancy word for that. It's called pronation. Pronation. It's good to know new vocabulary words. It means rolled inward. So I'm rolled in a little bit because my elbow is a little bit higher than if I were just straight out. And this bone in my wrist, you can see it's higher because my wrist is rolled a little bit too. And it's the whole reason for the pronation is for the wrist. The wrist is much better at going this way than going this way. So if I turn it a little bit, I can benefit quite a bit in terms of additional wrist motion, helping the bow hold out. So I drape it like that. You see each of the fingers, what their role is, teeter-tottering between first and fourth, basically, over a fulcrum that is the thumb. And the thumb is tucked in on the side, on the very end of the frog. And that is all I want to say about the bow hold. That's all I want to say about it. Because everything else has to do with what we're trying to accomplish with the bow. That's where we should put our focus, all our focus. So if you've ever had a chance to like go putt-putt or ever have a golf ball and a golf club, you don't need to be told to put your focus not so much on your golf club hold, but on the interaction between the end of that golf club and the ball. That's where you're looking and that's where your focus is. That's what you're trying to influence. Same thing here. So I want to spend the rest of my time moving this bow and watching it go back and forth on a string. I'll stare right at that point of contact where the bow touches the string. To stare at it is to draw your attention to it, and that is a very good thing. Watch that string go back and forth on that. The bow going back and forth on the string. So you'll see that I go down bow and I go up bow. I know that way is not up. It's an area in which I think that the shouldered strings have an initial advantage in that this way is up. They're lifting their hand up and they're letting it fall down. And they lift it up actively and they drop it passively. So if we can convince ourselves that that way is up when we have a cello in our hands. Active, passive, lift, fall. Good things can come of us thinking of that way as being up. So the next thing I want you to think about is I am holding the bow at one spot and there's a lot of leverage, could be, that it takes to get my weight out here to the other spot. So it might initially make a lot of sense to me how I'm influencing the string right here under my hand, because there's the weight of my hand right there. But how am I doing the same thing out here where I don't have another hand? It'd kind of be nice if we had a third hand that could hold on to that end of the bow while another hand, but no. So instead of thinking about the leverage, sometimes it's very helpful to think about the shape that I'm drawing, not being a perfectly straight line, but being a little bit curved, kind of a hook shape, so that if I draw a curved shape, then the leverage is built into the shape that I'm drawing, and that keeps the weight and the contact, the good contact between the hair and the string, even out there where my hand isn't located. So that's your bow hold. That's what you're trying to accomplish. And there are instruments that spend quite a bit of their warm-up time playing open whole tones, long tones. So why can't we start out our practice sessions just playing, monitoring both how the string sounds and how the bow feels in accomplishing that. That is my approach to the bow hold in a nutshell. Good luck and happy practicing.